You know I'm not Batman, right? Like, I'm far from it. If you put the bat signal and I came, you would cry. You look up and see me standing atop the building, that ain't gonna stop the crime. What's up, guys? It's TyranitarTube, and welcome back to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Riddles. We are kind of getting into endgame territory with the riddles and leaks of this season, which is crazy because we got 4 months till the games come out. What are we gonna do for the next 4 months? Ku has posted a couple new riddles, and Kakaman has gone crazy, revealing so many things about the game. We'll go through all of it in this video. Here's the logic with Kakaman. Some people say Kakaman is saving the hype season. I wasn't excited about the game. Now I know I'm gonna buy this game for sure. Yes, because you wouldn't have been convinced from the official trailers by November. Who cares? So let's start off with Ku. So in the last video, where we left off is me explaining the 4 concepts in this game. We have regional forms, gimmick form changes, regional fakes, and then time warped Pokemon, which are like past and future forms. So 5 different kinds of forms in this game. Since then, Ku's made a couple tweets with Chinese puns in them. So this is the first one. He quotes the speculation about Diglett's regional fake. The current idea is that it's a water eel Pokemon that's gonna look like Diglett. Ku pretty much confirms it, saying that it is an eel Pokemon and that its Chinese name is HDS. Thank goodness to people in the community trying to crack it. Let me tell you how I think we solve these. These 3 letters are the start of a syllable in Chinese. Together, you should be able to make words that are the Chinese name. So after a bunch of work, these are the Chinese characters they came up with, which if we sound out, we get Hua Di She, HDS. And one way we can interpret it is white slide snake, some kind of eel Pokemon, a totally different take for a Diglett. The next Chinese tweet he posts is, at some point Ku tweeted little brother into big sister. He quotes that and says, its Chinese name, TLDD to TLJJ. Remember when someone wanted a Dunsparce Evo and Kusa to mark the tweet? We think the TLDD is Soil Dragon little brother and the TLJJ is Soil Dragon big sister. Sometimes it's cool solving the Chinese names because it gives you a clue about the Pokemon. In English, it might not be obvious, but in Chinese, it's pretty much made up of existing words. Apparently, Soil Dragon little brother is Dunsparce and Soil Dragon big sister is the Dunsparce evolution. Does that mean Dunsparce only evolves if it's a girl? We'll see. Next, Ku tweets, by the way, I mentioned the Chinese name of fire with that crocodile pic. Back on June 30th, there's this photo of a chicken on a crocodile's head. Gave us ideas like cockatrice, a dragon with a chicken head. He said he told us the final evolution's Chinese name in this, which you'd have to go to the corner right here. GWJSE. What we think it is Ghost King Chicken Burn Crocodile. Other combinations you can make are zombie and cockatrice. Rumor is that Fuecoco's final form is gonna be Fire Ghost, so some kind of zombie cockatrice Ghost King Chicken. I guess we have it means nothing and a lot at the same time. Then Ku tweets 74HTW LQLTJLL etc. Not 100% sure of these because I saw them months ago, so the memories were fading. Ku, don't tell them you saw these months ago. They're gonna check their logbooks. We can break this down because of course the TLJJ is the big sister Dunsparce thing. So 74H. Apparently 74 is a Chinese pun on the word night, which is cool. Bring me the idea I said. Someone lost their Honedge a long time ago, and it became its own Pokemon. Bro, if they're gonna introduce regional fakes and stuff to connect different Pokemon's lores together, just connect Honedge's lore with some weird night Pokemon. The TW, before I tell the answer to this, remember this tweet here? You'll remember this because someone in the comments was showcasing it with gloves. This book is that Rikuo book where we had a couple connections drawn, like that king in the anime that has a daughter named Scarlet and Viola. Another thing it says here is Land King. Made us think this was about some kind of king Pokemon. But someone interestingly in the comments here posted this, an evolution of Quagsire. Quagsire is known as Swamp King in Japanese. So the title of this book literally is the name of the new mon in Chinese. Kakaman wasn't canon yet as of this post. Now we know that Quagsire has a different evolution that a regional Wooper will have. And so maybe Land King is referencing that. Cut to his tweet now, the TW, it could be Tu Wong, which means Soil King, and maybe is the name of the book coming full circle. Quagsire is known as the Swamp King, like its name is Nuo in Japanese, which is literally swamp and king. So this regional alternate evolution for Wooper might be the Soil King as a counterpart to the Swamp King. Not bad, cool? Alright, last one, LQL. This one's kind of cool. If you look at Giraffe Freak's name in Chinese, it's actually the opposite, QLQ. My dog is called Chilinchi, so maybe maybe we can flip it to Lin-Chi Lin. And when you do this, the first Lin could be the letter for spirit. So one of the predictions going around is a normal ghost type. What happened, bro? You used to be psychic. The moment your tail took over, you died. How you gonna you gonna ruin Zorik's day like that? Dude finally popped up with a brand new typing, you're gonna steal it. It's not confirmed the typing, it's just speculation. We're done. That's the Chinese done. Next time, guys, call the Chinese Batman. Not me. Next thing Ku posts is, maybe I should cover Kakuman later. This is fun enough. Next thing, someone on 4chan posted this image of how they think one of the features in this game work, and Ku posted it. He says, this is basically what you'll feel about Titan. Pretty much what this photo is how the time warped Pokemon work in this game. So for Vulpix, when one was found in Alola, they put it under the same heading as Pokemon number 37 in the Pokedex. But when a time warped Pokemon comes to our time, it's gonna have slight differences in the way it looks that it's just gonna be registered as something else. Then we get to Ku Q&A season. Someone is leaking codenames. Kakuman. Essentially, he asks, any Pokemon Kakuman teased, do you want me to talk about him? Naturally, I hit him with the regional ttar he's forgotten to tease, but he left me on read. I think he's shaking in his boots. I can't reveal it yet. Anyhow, Ku says a couple things. One, there is a spider line that was teased in trailer 1, which would be that spider web pattern we saw in the live action segment. There's some kind of spider Pokemon. And there are 3 Pokemon mentioned from his side of things. An ostrich Pokemon, which is kind of crazy. A ghost dog. And a lolly with the hammer, which we know. For a ghost dog, is this Centro? This is mad mean. But yeah, an ostrich Pokemon and a ghost dog. These new Pokemon will make sense when we cover Kakuman's side. Anyhow, later, Ku tweets, 2 pseudo-legendary mons got new concept counterparts. 1 for each group. You could guess them or wait for Kakuman to spoon feed you. Wait, to spoon? Kakuman better not. 2 pseudo-legendary mons got new concept counterparts. This most likely has to do with time warped Pokemon. There are 2 pseudo legendaries, one of which will get a future form and one who'll get a past form, and they'll be the counterparts. Kind of like Mega Ttar and Mega Aggron were counterparts for X and Y. That's freaking huge. 2 pseudo legendaries. Naturally, I hit him with future Ttar again. He left me on read, but man, am I so gassed. Ku got to tell this before Kakuman just spoiled it. 2 pseudo legendaries. Let me pull up the list of them. Put them up on screen, just right here, okay? We can maybe take Gudra out of the picture, because the dude just got a regional form. That leaves about 8 of them. Now, not that this matters, but Tyranitar, Salamence, Metagross, and Garchomp have mega forms, so it might push Game Freak off from picking them first, which would leave these other 4 as maybe a little more likely. But I don't think the mega thing matters. It's cool to say this, but 2 of these Pokemon right here are gonna get regional forms in this game. Now, by new forms, I mean time warped Pokemon. Maybe he means regional fakes, but I doubt it. He means time warped Pokemon, which technically would not be these Pokemon. When you went and found them in game, it wouldn't be called Tyranitar, it'd be called some next thing. It would be from the ancient past or the distant future. And there's also some oddity when it comes to time warped Pokemon. I'm hearing some things like apparently they don't have evolution lines, like they're just a standalone Pokemon. So for example, that Jigglypuff that we're speculating is a ancient Jigglypuff. Some people are saying it doesn't evolve. We gotta see. I gotta give it up for Game Freak though for actually making proper version differences in a game like this. A lot of you guys had some cool ideas. A Hydreigon in the era of Knights. Someone thought of Mecha Godzilla and King Ghidorah. I guess this is a Hydreigon like Pokemon. This is a freaking thing in Japan? Is future Ttar just Doraludon? Don't say that. Dragonite, please, for the love of God. Dragonite would deserve it. It's crazy that in all the Kanto pandering Game Freak does, they never gave Dragonite a Mega, a Dynamax, or anything. Meanwhile, Charizard got all of that. So this is a good point. Not regular Ttar, but Larvitar was shown in the trailer, which could give a sense that he doesn't have a variant, even though it could be the Gudra case where the first form still looks the same. But even if they showed a Ttar in the trailer, time warped Pokemon aren't from our time period. They can still exist. They could show a Ttar in a trailer and a future Ttar could come under a different name and it would work. Have you got a sixth sense now? Every time Ku tweets, you just know. After 9,000 tweets waking me up, I can feel it. I feel Ku in me and I want Kakuman out of me. Sucka spooning me as we speak. I'm gonna leave that to you guys to speculate. Which of these Pokemon would you want getting time warped forms? This is crazy. When I read this, I sat thinking for like 10 minutes straight that, bruh, 2 of these are actually getting it. Next tweet. Ku tweets, 2 mons got both counterparts in the 2 groups. Guess them before you're spoon fed. Goodness. I hope he doesn't do it again. I'm throwing all my spoons in the house. This is probably similar to the pseudo-legendary thing he was mentioning. Wait a sec, he says 2 mons got both counterparts. Is he literally saying that there might be 2 Pokemon with both an ancient and future form? Oh frick, that's what he's saying. So of the Pokemon that exist in the game, 2 of them will have both forms. Forms is the wrong word. We'll have an ancient and a future species. Then we move to the next tweet. Get ready. Get ready to say it. 1 Gen 1 regional fake crawls from the sea to the land. He said it. He said the thing. Regional fake. He finally freaking said it. You know what the worst thing is? It's a freaking nickname. It's not even what it's called in games. Understandably, they wouldn't call the eel Diglett a fake. The dude's lived his whole life. He's a real Pokemon. But he freaking said the word. Now I can stop fixing myself. Regional fakes. Say it 3 times. 1 Gen 1 R fake crawls from the sea to the land. He's freaking telling us one of the fakes. Now, the way I feel like regional fakes will work in this game is that they won't be plentiful. There won't be like freaking 10 regional fakes. I think they're gonna keep it very small. That way it has this sort of nuance to it. Maybe they'll introduce just like 1 or 2 each generation and you'll be able to keep track of it properly. He also says, remember when he tweeted that the new concept in this game is going to be able to influence battles some way? We come to realize nowadays that he wasn't talking about a weather condition or status. He's talking about Pokemon. Ancient and future Pokemon will influence battles some way. And when asked how, he says they're OP mons, overpowered. So these Pokemon may not even be considered normal Pokemon. They might be in the tier of legendaries. So the future Pseudo, or even something not as important, maybe even the ancient Jigglypuff, when it comes, it might have like 580 BST. It might actually be a strong legendary like Pokemon. At that point, it's like a myth from the past, right? It is a legendary in a sense. And so this takes us back to a tweet Ku put earlier, which are that the new concept mons gather in groups, the time warped Pokemon. You can compare them with Ultra Beasts. These Pokemon would probably travel from their time period and be in a small group, like Ultra Beasts, but they'd all be like legendary strong. I would assume, when he calls them that overpowered. Maybe in the decks, they're actually listed at the end with Koraidon and Miraidon, as if they are legendaries. How weird would it be to consider one of the legendaries in Gen 9 a Jigglypuff? Like, you go to a post-game cave and there's a Jigglypuff level 70 waiting for you. Dracula Jigglypuff. Anyhow, I went down this rabbit hole because I was trying to find a specific tweet. This one. You can speculate the other few R fakes with the same logic in Gen 1. Have fun. When I read this tweet, the idea I got is that RFs are exclusive to Gen 1, which is Kanto pandering, but I totally understand it. Game Freak is just memeing on Pokemon so widespread known that it won't confuse people. So everyone in the world knows Diglett. The Pokemon that people know the most are Gen 1 Pokemon. So maybe there'll just be like 2-3 regional fakes in this game that are about Gen 1 Pokemon. So this is the second RF, aside from Diglett, that we've heard about. A Gen 1 regional fake that is gonna crawl from the sea to the land. The first thing I thought when I read this was Krabby. I wasn't trying to guess. Krabby just played in my head, crawling. And then I started to stare at this word crawl. What freaking Pokemon crawls? It's like a baby. Just a really fit Snorlax equivalent. Krabby was what was going on in my head, but that's not very exciting. And Krabby doesn't have a special character to it that would make it stand out if there was an imposter of it. So I'm gonna go through a couple ideas that you guys said in the comments. 1, Kabuto. Now, Kakaman did say, not that his information is totally accurate, that there are no fossil Pokemon in this game. But maybe there's a Pokemon that over time started becoming like the ancient Pokemon Kabuto. It's not as exciting. We need a Pokemon that has a notable thing to it. Seaking? How this man gonna crawl? There's Shelder or Cloyster or Staryu and Starmie, but it's a little confusing because what is Ku really saying? Are fakes? They're imposters. So when he says a Gen 1 regional fake crawls from the sea to the land, the wording is like a paradox. It has nothing to do with the Gen 1 Pokemon. There's just gonna be some Gen 9 Pokemon that goes from the sea to the land and it starts looking like a Gen 1 Pokemon. So we can't tell. You can't tell if he's talking about a Pokemon that should originate from the water in Gen 1 or if it's a Gen 9 Pokemon that originates from the water and is going to be on the land. Because in that case, we should be looking at Gen 1 land Pokemon. Frick, it's confusing. But we'll stick to water Pokemon for this video. We'll see where it goes from there. So one of the most popular ideas I've heard is Lapras. And this one I can get behind because Lapras has a character to it that stands out. It's the rideable Pokemon. So if an imposter showed up looking exactly like Lapras, but he was on the land, maybe slugging around, if it had that thing on its back and looked like a Lapras, but wasn't one at all, it stands out well enough that it could work to make an imposter of it. What the heck is this? But there's definitely some tricky wording to this. I'm gonna go with Lapras as my favorite idea for this. You know, forget Kakeman. We'll look at him a different video. Next video, we'll talk about him. Are we almost done, Ku? Oh, there's more. Beach episode continues. He tweets, by the way, new concept mons are all new Pokemon. Very powerful in battle. Still saw a ton of wrong comments like forms or R fakes or whatever. So this is because the time warped Pokemon and R fakes are not form changes. While people would get what you're saying if you said Diglett's water regional form, it's not Diglett. It's racist. That ain't a Diglett, bro. Don't call him that. That's pretty much what he means. But look, he says they're very powerful in battle. There's different possibilities. Maybe time warped Pokemon get a special ability because they time traveled. But since these Pokemon are supposed to be like time capsules of how Pokemon looked in the past or will look in the future, I'm sure they won't have some time warped ability. I'm sure it's their base stats that are strong. You see, in the past, I've defended Game Freak on making regional forms because it is lazy for them to just make a kind of reskin to an existing Pokemon, but I thought it was creative because they'd have to go and study the lore. And Game Freak forgets their lore all the time. Regional forms kind of force them to go and reread their lore and expand on it. But this later tweet from Ku pretty much talks about how there are so many regional form-like Pokemon at the end of the Pokedex that it really starts to add up as Game Freak being lazy. But check this out. When someone asks them if the new concept mons evolve or if they're standalone Pokemon, like the Jigglypuff and Amoonguss, surely the Jigglypuff evolves, right? He says they're standalone. Now legendary Pokemon can evolve as of Gen 7, so everything is possible in the future. I think he's saying as far as this game is concerned, they don't evolve, but in the future, they might be able to revisit them. But that freaking means a Jigglypuff. There's a legendary Jigglypuff. This is crazy. Yo, this is actually what I said in an earlier video. I said this idea a few months ago when I was playing Legends Arceus, that they should make a Ninetales regional variant that was like a ghost type, and there's only one in the world. Either it died out or something, but because there's only one, it's a myth now. And just put it in a cave as a level 70 and call it a legendary. Just to show how any Pokemon can become a myth like that. This is freaking it. They turn normal Pokemon into legendaries. We have to see. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Moving on to his next tweet, we're almost done. We clarify on this a bit more. When I say past and future mons, I think what he's trying to say is that it's now a new concept, like how Gen 7 introduced Ultra Beasts. So he says now that Ultra Beasts are a new established concept, that they're free to introduce more in a future game. Kind of like they did in Ultra Sun and Moon, but literally like in the Gen 10 region, there's like 2 new Ultra Beasts. He says this could be the same situation for the past and future form. Now the Pokemon establishes different concepts, they can build on them in the future. It's kind of a non-tweet, it doesn't really say anything, but it's food for thought. You never know what Riddler Ku has secretly heard while eavesdropping on Game Freak. And we're done. But you see how he describes past and future forms like Ultra Beast? They sound like they're essentially legendaries like that. If done right, this is one of the coolest things Pokemon could do. I just wish when I think of time warped legendaries that I'm not thinking of Jigglypuff and Amoonguss. Anyhow, we've gone through a bunch of crazy stuff in this video, and that's just going through Ku. Regardless of the info you get from Kakeman, when we hear stuff from Ku, it's canon. The Kakeman arc I've heard has some filler in it. The thing with Ku is that while he's kind of mad sometimes with the Central stuff, that it seems he's honest. When asked about R fakes, he tells us that he called them RFs because he thought the Diglett was a regional form himself. So he just corrected his mistake by turning the RF into R fake. He told us. Anyhow, we end off with his final tweet, which is that Kakeman provided images. It doesn't mean that every other thing worded from him are also correct. That's what you got to think about. A lot of what he said could be right, but rumor is Kakeman is on crack and he's gone crazy. He's talking in broken English. I swear, do you want me to pull up one of the tweets I saw from him? Let me freaking find it. I screenshotted this summer. Bro, I can't find the freaking screenshot it took, but someone translated some of Kakeman's tweets as like some lady's gonna transform into a Pokemon. It's crazy. Like, it's obviously not right. And then like 30 minutes later, people say, oh no, he was talking about a lady trading you a Pokemon. Anyhow, some other things Ku mentioned is the color of Diglett's RF, and that there is a bug Pokemon that might get a time warped form. from Gen 5. And the first Pokemon that came to mind was Volcarona. There ain't no way they'd make that, right? A time warped Volcarona? It's gonna be a freaking Venipede. Not even the full one, it's gonna be Venipede, Descender form. Legendary Venipede. Anyhow, okay, fine. I freaking can't find the screenshot I took. It don't mean Kakuman is wrong. It just means wait. For now, even with Ku's RF mistake, he still hasn't been wrong yet. So we'll use this as our secretly canon filler arc. People who skipped the beach episode will never know what hit him. Alright, I'm gonna call it quits here, guys. Go and shank that like button. Let me know your thoughts on some of these things. What the Gen 5 bug time warped Pokemon could be. What the 2 pseudos could be. Everything we talked about. Next video, we will talk about Kakuman and cover everything he's posted. So I'll see you there. Take care.
Bitch, I'm the man. Give me my spot on that throne. They didn't want me to grow. They didn't know I would make all of them go. I did it all on my own. Man, what was you? When I was trapped in my zone, never had nothing to own. Now it's all good. All of that fronting is gone. I'm out here stunning for show. Bitch, I'm a pro.